this is Black Cat Crafts. I'm reviewing a 4-tree set. This set is perfect for your Halloween village, wargame platform, train set, or haunt diorama. The trees are designed to look like maple trees in the height of fall, so they have that gorgeous flaming yellow and orange coloration to them. I've got to say, I'm really impressed with the quality of these trees. So you can't really see it through the bag, which is how it comes, but no complaints there because, again, pretty high quality and the price was right. So at the time of this video, I paid little under $18 and I got free shipping. They come, as I mentioned, as a set of 4. They range in size from smallest, which is really about the size of a large bush in real life, and the largest, if you could scale it up again to real world sizes, would probably be a tree about 20-30 feet tall. So for the purposes of demonstrating the trees themselves, I'll show you what they look like next to 3 different figures and associated buildings. The first figure is a Spooky Town Witch. The second is a trio from Department 56, and then the last are some Ashland Miniatures. This witch is one that I repainted. It is a Spooky Town Witch, and that tree in the background was a craft I made late in 2021. The tree is very easy to poke into what was pink foam before it got sculpted and painted. So if you're using that type of base, you'll love it. They're very easy to reposition. If you're using something harder, you will want to craft a base for it. So for a good view of what the size looks like, she's about the same size as, the bush is about the same size as the witch. This trio of figures is from Department 56. They came with the Black Cat Café. The tree, or large bush, is about the same size that they are, so it could yield some interesting placement if you were to put that tree somewhere, maybe where you wanted to maybe hide some cords or a battery box or some other artistic element that you wanted to minimize so that the focus people have is on your figures. Otherwise, you could also put it next to Hemlock's Nursery, as I have it here. Those 2 skeletons are from Ashland Miniatures, and just like with the Spooky Town Witch, they're about the same size as the bush, a little smaller. So in general, really like this tree size. I have a few ideas of where I'm going to put it in my final layout, but let's take a look at the slightly larger second smallest tree. This tree is substantially larger than the first. Next to the witch, she is dwarfed by it, so it's a little bit more mature if you were to think of it in real world terms. Here's a comparison view, the first tree and the second. So again, substantially larger. Let's look at the tree next to the trio of figures from Black Cat Café and Department 56. When you think about that first tree, it was barely the same size as the 2 taller children with the hats. This one is clearly much larger, and for that reason, I find it more versatile than the first tree. Comparing it again with the first tree, this tree's top is almost to the top of the greenhouse on Hemlock's Nursery. So the side-by-side really shows how much bigger it is. Let's take a look at the third tree, which is larger still. This tree is getting into the more mature tree looks. So if you recall the last tree, it was, a little bit taller. This one's substantially taller than the witch. Now, I really like this size of tree because it fits in with a lot more of our buildings. Again, I use my trees more as a backdrop and like them to really emphasize or draw the eye to what's going on with my diorama. In this instance, next to the Department 56 children, it really does look very realistic. I just really enjoy the detail on it, all the branches and the way the leaves look. It's a great design tree. Next to Hemlock's Nursery, it is almost as tall as the top that holds the pumpkins. The split screen shows how much larger that third tree is compared to the second. Let's talk about the largest tree, the final tree that I'll review today. This tree is a very mature size. So in comparison to the third largest tree, substantially bigger and almost mature looking. I could see this in more of a village setting, maybe a main street, several of these dotting the sidewalks, maybe going down a road with trick-or-treaters. It's a great size and looks really nice. Also next to Department 56. So this tree being large and very substantial looks good even next to those Department 56 figures, which tend to be on the larger end of the spectrum anyway. Now let's take a peek at it next to the Ashland Miniatures as well as the Hemlock's Nursery. Taller than the pumpkin on the top of Hemlock's Nursery, this tree packs a punch next to any building in your collection. I am taken with this tree and I wish I could buy just a set of this size. Thus, I love a good substantial tree. It's hard to get them and I'd love to see more of them. This tree is a great size tree next to the trees you see there on screen. The one in the middle is from Department 56 and came with the Black Cat Café. I just dressed it up with some pumpkin lights I got at the dollar store. And then to the left of that is a tree that came from Spooky Town, and I think it's still in production, so you can grab that if you really love it. This is Black Cat Crafts, and I enjoyed reviewing those trees for you. Again, I said it before, but they are a must-buy. I hope you come back and check out the other reviews I do, the dioramas I make, and some of the crafts that I do to help personalize our Halloween villages. If you have a suggestion, let me hear what you've got to say in the comments, and thanks for stopping by.